Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. Hey, it's the Phenomenal STEMist. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's just me and Bryant today. Maybe Howard's gonna get on, but I'm like, where two or three are gathered, we're gonna have an awesome conversation. Shout out to Kamoy in transit, Howard in transit. Jamal's not gonna make it tonight, but still, I got my ram in the thicket. My ram in the thicket, Bryant, is in the house. And so we're going to have a good conversation about breaking the glass through the glass ceiling. So good to see everybody who's on or who's watching the replay. How you doing, Bryant?
I am doing well. Let's see. I'm hearing an echo. Is that for me?
Is the echo coming through?
Yeah, it's coming in on my end. So hold on. Let me.
Yeah, no. If it's coming through, it's because it's my mic. I got this new
No, it's only when I talk.
Apple. Yeah, it's when you talk, but it's because it's my mic. That's what I think.
Oh,
This has happened before. You still hear it?
no. Like I said, it's only when I. Oh, no, it's gone now. Nope, I still hear it. Yeah.
Still
It's
hear
like
it?
it's coming through my headset like twice. Like I said, I wonder if it's me. Turn all this down and check
How
my
about this one?
settings.
How about this one? You still hear it?
No, like I said, it's only when I talk. Nope, it's gone now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gone. Okay. So it was you. It's some
Yeah,
Apple
it's me. I
product.
know it's me.
It's
It's
them
my
Apple
mic.
products.
I still gotta keep the aesthetic. I
Okay.
gotta figure out. It's my new computer, and I got this new computer for the podcast because my other computer kept has a lot of energy in it, and so like you hit it too much, it shut off, and I didn't want it to be shutting off during the podcast, and so I got this so-called excellent computer, like so I could be all Macified. I have MacBook,
Oh,
Mac
you gone down
Pro.
the Apple rabbit hole.
I got into the Apple rabbit hole, but now it's giving me echoes with my microphone. So I got to figure out how to change that. But um, until then, yeah, go ahead. You were saying?
No, I was saying I'm doing a lot better. Since the last time the group has met, I had a podcast myself where I brought a fitness person on, and one of my closest friends, he read me the riot act, and so I had to make some lifestyle changes. So, one, I drink water. I won't tell you where this water came from because they didn't pay me, so they're not getting free. But it doesn't taste like water. That was my biggest thing, because water doesn't
Oh,
taste good to
I don't
me.
like the way water tastes. Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
so I need some flavoring. Before I used to use like Mio, and I can say that, but I was It said one squeeze, but I got big hands, so it was turning into
Juice.
Flavor Aid. It was
Yeah.
basically Flavor Aid, no sugar in it, but I needed something to to help. And as I've started going back into the office, I was drinking water, but then I was adding country time lemonade to it. So I was just lying to myself. So I was cheating
Country
myself.
time.
Country time lemonade. I was like, but it's at least 90% water because the stuff is dry. So I'm when you got to put half the container in there in order for it to taste good, the changes had to be made. So I've made changes. I've drank water. I'm walking at least 3 miles, even when I'm at work during my breaks. I say that I walk the building enough where I can get 3 miles in. When I come home, I walk again, and I'm just doing low impact because I have a goal. Last year I played basketball on church league team, and I thought we were good. I thought I was moving fast, but the video and the camera don't lie. I was basically a cone.
Wow.
Not even I couldn't even set a screen. It was sad. So in order to
Redeem yourself.
redeem myself, and I
Yeah.
actually had a team. The Iron Table funded a team, and we'll be doing it again this year, church league. I said, let me get back because I love basketball. I'm a '70s kid, '80s
Yeah. Me too.
basketball. So um, this was my way of getting back into shape. And since then, I've lost about 15 pounds. I stopped drinking sodas. And you'd be amazed just walking. If anyone can just walk, and you're only against yourself. You don't compare yourself to anyone else. You are in your own race at your own speed. Do something that's realistic um, and reliable. Because if you do something that's too hard, you're going to quit. And so this has been about 4 weeks, and I've chronologized my journey. One of the thing, and the last thing I'll say about it is that you can't outwork a bad diet, and that's what my friend said, and it made sense. So I had to start doing portion control because I was eating, I was enjoying the fruits of my labor at this age, but if I want to continue on, I gotta make those changes. So
Well, it's awesome that you lost 15 pounds in a
yes.
week. And it's awesome
Oh
that
no,
you
not in a week. It's in a month. I
in a
want people
month.
to think yes.
Sorry, in a month. That's still good.
It's
15
still
pounds in a month is awesome. Um and it's about lifestyle changes. I'm in the process. Every time I do start doing good, something happens. I got injured, so I've been walking 2 times a week, um, doing pickleball 2 times a week, doing volleyball 2 times a week.
well,
Each
that's
of
a lot
them,
more than what I'm doing.
it's awesome. And then I got into a collision, and my foot got a bad contusion, and so I was off my feet for 2 months.
Mm,
So I stopped doing volleyball, and I stopped doing pickleball, and I stopped walking,
it's
and I
okay.
picked up some weight again because I'm like just sitting there, and so I'm gonna get back in it. I was doing so
And
good,
you
and
will do it.
having fun working out, just enjoying it, like. And thank God I'm back in it again. I just wrap my foot to keep it stable. And I played I walked this morning, and I played 4 games of pickleball, and
And that
I'm
is
back.
amazing.
I'm
That
back.
is amazing. And see, you got to celebrate those victories.
Yeah, yeah, I'm back. I'm back. And so yeah, I'm gonna be back in the saddle, and definitely, like you said, you gotta combine it with water and portion control. And and you do that, what I learned is the portion control and no roots, just fruits. So root vegetables. I'm not gonna fully get rid of them, but definitely only one root vegetable a day. So when I say no roots, just fruits, I'm talking about no starches, just disaccharides. So shout out, went over yet. So fruits are disaccharides. They're basically two glucose molecules together. There's sucrose. Apples and peaches and strawberries, things that you pick from the tree. You pick it. It has a seed. You eat it. Think about it. When you eat a fruit, you don't kill the tree. You don't kill the tree. You're meant to eat the fruit. You take the fruit, you eat the fruit, you throw the seed away, and the tree reproduces. They appreciate when you eat their fruit. Fruits were meant for us, roots were not. So, roots are, if you think about it, if you kill the root of a tree, you eat the root of a tree, you kill the tree. You eat the fruit of the tree, tree is fine. Roots are things that are under the ground, that are
Oh,
attached to the leaves,
not my French fries. Not my French fries.
like potatoes. That's roots. That's the roots of the plant. The potato plant is above ground with the green. Yeah.
Nobody wants that. We want the
No,
rustics.
no, no carrots. You know that the carrot is the green thing is the top. The carrot is at the bottom. It's a root. You eat the root, you kill the fruit. You kill the tree. Um, the root is for the tree. Starches are for the plant's energy. They grow their roots, and whenever they get their nutrition from their roots, they're not meant for us to eat. There's massive amounts of sugar in roots. And because there's so much sugar in roots for the tree, for the plant to survive long, but we take it and we get obese with it.
Mm.
Yeah, our
Right.
cholesterol goes high with it as well. So I learned that, and just by cutting out roots, I lost 20 pounds along with exercise and water. And then I injured myself, got depressed and sedentary, and gained half of it back. But I'm still in the green. Still in the green.
The knowledge is the important thing that you
And I
know what to go
learned,
back to.
and I learned. So I'm not cutting out the roots totally. I can't get rid of the French fries 100%. But I said to myself, if I have tater tots in the morning, I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna have rice in the evening. I'm not gonna have French fries in the afternoon.
Mm,
Yeah.
mercy.
So only one root a day.
Man,
If
I
you
wish
eat
I
a
didn't get on
root,
this call. Now you done ruined French fries. You can't have a crinkle
you
cut.
can have French fries, but only
All
one,
right.
only French. If you're gonna choose French fries, then you gotta not have rice. If you're gonna choose rice for dinner, you can't have French fries for lunch.
Mm,
Try it, y'all. I'm telling you, it works. It
okay.
works.
All right. Well, this has been a health moment that we didn't ask for. Nah, but
And
cool.
definitely no
That's good
soda.
information.
Definitely
Yeah.
no soda, because soda is just an abundance of sugar.
Now let
An
me ask you this:
abundance.
zero sugar soda. What is your take on that?
That chemical, I don't like the chemical that's in there that's used to replace it.
What does the chemical do? Because
I'm
I
I
done
don't
bought
know.
a
I just have
whole
a
bunch
feeling.
of zero sugar. So when I started weaning myself. I started with sodas. Dr. Pepper is my thing. I don't know what 23 flavors are in it, but I like all 23. And then
Mhm.
I went to Dr. Pepper's cherry zero sugar. And I was like, okay, this
Mhm.
tastes close.
Mhm.
I said, and I looked, and I was like, it's got 0 calories. I'm good. I can do, but apparently I'm not. So
I
again,
don't know. I just don't trust. I don't trust chemicals, man. And don't get me wrong. I had a Coca-Cola today. I got a free soda, and I just drank it. So I'm not innocent. That's why I tend not to. I tend not to buy it. If I get it for free, I take it and then I drink it. But I tend not to buy. If I don't buy it, I won't drink it. Um, Anything that has chemicals in it is can be hazardous. I don't know why, and so I'm not gonna. I hope these companies don't sue me. They're not nobody watching anyway. Not a lot of, well, not nobody. I
I'm
see
just
you watching.
giving
I see a
education.
few of you watching. Shout out to those of you who are watching. Um, and especially my mother and the others who are watching. Comment so I can know who the others are. But anyway, water is best.
Of course.
Water is best. Anyway, we digress. Maybe how we will be jumping in. If not, it'll just be us. Let's talk. We're talking about breaking through the glass ceiling. And my first question is, first off, mommy, can you do me a favor and turn down the volume? So my mother's at the house and she's listening, but I can hear our conversation in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when was the first time you realized there was a glass ceiling in your field? And what did that moment teach me? So first off, tell me what you do. For those of you like so you're not the traditional STEM person
Mhm.
that I have, but you were such a great person. I said I got to have you on the show because you're just so great. And but so talk to me. You don't got to go into detail. Just like when Howard didn't go into detail either. What just generally what do you do?
Okay. I'll say I'm a STEM in training because y'all have brought me in and tried to graft me into your circle.
There
I
you
still
go.
rough around the edges. It's a little point on that circle. Uh, I am a public health analyst. And with my job, I work with primary care associations or PCAs. What they do is they provide technical assistance and training to federally qualified health centers all across the United States and all US territories. And of course, health centers they are not free clinics. They are community-based organizations where at least 51% of the board have to be made up of members who actually utilize those services. And so with my job, I'm there more not it's not compliance, but it's more of a cooperative agreement. They've accepted money. We are working together on their work plan on ways in which they can help health centers do their job better. And if they can enhance capacity, that means they can see more people, they can treat um, more efficiently, then that helps them generate programmatic income, which can then go the back into the program, back into the health center to go towards. It could be new equipment, maybe hiring more staff, maybe building expansion, so many different things because the health centers that they are for those who are insured, underinsured, those who have no insurance. So you've got self-payers, you got those who are billing Medicaid, and then you have those who cannot afford anything, and they're on a sliding fee scale based on how much they make and their family size in order to again get quality care. So that's what I do. And so I've been doing this for well over I've been with the Department of Health and Human Services for 24 years. So I've been a project officer for at least, uh, let's say, 15 years out of that. Before then, I was a staff assistant and a secretary. So in my field, when I realized that we have what's called a GS scale, so
Mhm, mhm,
it's go usually odd numbers or there might be some even numbers, and based on a job, it could be a GS7. I think when I first started in the government, I was making 21,000, and that was a GS7, and that was 2002. If I made that now, I'd be very sad. I might be doing some other jobs. But uh, when I when I used to work with substance abuse and mental health, I was in a job that had a scale of a GS 7, 9, 11.
mhm,
And so once I got to that 11, I saw that I was still doing jobs at those who were GS 13s, but
mm,
I couldn't get that GS 13 pay because my job series only went to 11. And so when I asked my supervisor, I was like, well, what can you do? I'm doing the same amount of work. Sometimes I might be doing more. He was like, well, there's not much we can do here. And so I was like, well, I can't stay here because I'm giving you more than what I'm getting paid for. And so what that taught me was to if if it is a job, you work it as a job. If it is a
yeah,
career, you find something you love and you look at other reasons why not to go. And so since it was a job for me, I started looking for other jobs that were in the same realm of being a project officer. So I was able to move from substance abuse and mental health um, and homelessness over to the FQAC program, and then the FQAC program then upgraded myself to the PCA program, which is where I'm at now, and I love it because it's still helping, still being connected, uh, but really looking at creativity and how we can make providing healthcare better. So
so let I say it all the time. You're not traditional STEM, but you're STEM, bro. You're STEM. You're public health. So when I say that, I say, well, you didn't get your bachelor's degree in a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, but you're an analyst and you're in compliance in public health, and that is definitely STEM related. So what I hear, number one, is that you can start off in one field and still enter into STEM, guys. Number one. Number two, I'm hearing that you listen. You gotta shift when you hit that ceiling.
Yep.
You got to shift to the relevant fields that will pay you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not getting what you're worth. Howie, welcome. We just started, so I'm so glad you made it in. And we just asked the first question. We're talking about breaking through the glass ceiling, and I asked Brian, what was the first time you realized there was a glass ceiling in your field, and what did it teach you? I know with me, um I, I realized it when I see other people getting sponsored. um you know, I feel like there's no ceiling in academia, like especially with me as an academic professor with a doctorate. Like I the sky is the limit for me in terms of writing of grants, and I just know I have to work. But number one is I gotta get people on my side. Like I gotta get people on my side who places things in front of me. Maya, do you want to do? Would you like to do this? And I just feel like of late I've been getting a lot of sponsorship, and it taught me that no matter how smart you are, you have to have a network. You have to have somebody willing to put you places, not keep you at bare minimum, or not suggest things to you, and not put your name out there. Because even you could get your name, they'll throw things in general, but you'll get stuff in general. But if you get somebody who say, no, I want Dr. Byfield for this job, yes, that right there, that is called sponsorship. And everybody's job, if you look around, who's getting placed in position? If you're not a part of that, you're in a glass ceiling. Yeah. What about you, Howard? Like, when do you realize?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Um, I think that's probably the experience that I had, um, where and like Bryant mentioned, I was also on a GS scale, coming into the federal government under DHHS, and so definitely I would say, and coming from a laboratory experience and being so it'd be just probably similar to you, Brian, where I was so young and I was so wet behind the ears, and the job itself to me was an opportunity. So I just rolled with it, and really was just very observant, and just taking it all in. But of course, like you said, you reach a point where you start to see when the dust starts to settle, and then you start to see positioning taking place. You start to see people honing in on skills, and starting to express the areas that they were really, really interested in. So for us in the laboratory, comes down to like expertise and things like that. What area, what niche would you like to occupy? What type of instrumentation would you like to learn more about? All these types of things. um what aspect of the work would you really like to, when I say work, I mean, of the regulatory work that we do on a whole here, that would you really like to, occupy and learn more about? And one of the things that I experienced was, yeah, somebody said, hey, how about how about how about, and I think it came from management and so forth, how about Howard, give Howard a try in this particular area or that particular area. um and because I didn't know necessarily, I wasn't I didn't know what I wanted. I was open. And so, but as people started to see your skills and abilities and so forth, you were suggested, it was suggested, hey, and I was like, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then so that was when someone went to bat for me in that respect. And it wasn't even my manager, and so, but it was someone my manager would listen to, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
so it was that sort of thing, where I realized people would go to bat for me, and recognize my, and to me, I was just being me. I was just being me. I was just doing me. I was just, I was really, I didn't understand anything about politics and so forth, and playing any of these games and so forth that you do in the workplace. I was just being me. So I would say that there's value in that, and just occupying the space, and not really worrying about all of that necessarily, especially when you're new to that to work environment, and just really just absorbing and experiencing. Because the thing about the workplace is that I think what I've learned over time is that part of your value is part of people seeing your value is how much you value being there. So part of people saying, okay, this is someone I would recommend. This is someone that I think, the skills, talents, abilities would, it's them observing you and seeing that you really value certain aspects of what we do here. And so they would say, okay, this person, would be a great fit here or there. And that's
Mhm.
when you're just that's what I'm saying. You're just absorbing it. You're being positive. You're open to learning and so forth, open to criticism and all of that. And I think what I'm saying is being teachable,
Yeah.
being coachable, all of that sort of thing. People will see the value in that, even though you know nothing. Like, so you're not showing, oh, I know this, I know that necessarily, but I have the capacity. I know how to do this, I know how to do that. If I'm instructed, I'm open to it. So that kind of thing goes a long way. Um,
Howard, you said a lot, but the thing that stood out to me the most was, listen, show yourself strong and show it to people who are going to put you in spaces in which, if you feel being held, like, especially people of color, sometimes you feel like you're being held back. Sometimes you feel like you're being held back, and you know it. Show yourself strong to the person above the person that's holding you back, and to put yourself in spaces in which the person that's holding you back can't hold you back, because they'll listen to the person above them. That's that.
I
Listen,
literally,
I hope those of you who out there listening, I hope you take that. This is right now. You got everybody here is my age. That means that we got 20 years in this game. Over 20 years in this game. Stop acting like you ain't Bryant. How long you
Nobody
been
needs to know how
working?
old I am. Nobody needs to know.
started very young, very young.
Listen. We in this game 20-25 years, y'all. This is some wisdom. So, okay, next question. Have you ever been overlooked for a promotion, leadership opportunity, or a major project? Oh, I lost my. And how did you respond? What was the outcome? Hmm.
Okay,
I won't have to,
I'll say it.
I
I
won't have you answer that question, Brian. You in a delicate spot right now working. You even said where you work. I was surprised you did that.
no, I'm fine with saying what I work because I
Okay,
mean it's a job.
this is
Uh,
job. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, I think I've been overlooked for leadership opportunities. Um, and especially ones in which could lead to other leadership opportunities, right? Like, um, I won't go as far as that too much, because I love my job, and one thing that how I responded, I said, okay, cool. Like I'm not tripping. What's for me is for me. And as I said before, I feel like a lot of times people have people in their mind in terms of who they're sponsoring, who they're going to place, who they think should be in positions of leadership. And if you're not the one, then they're not going to sponsor you. But what I've learned is what's for me is for me, and it'll come to me. It'll come to me. I'm not going to even have to search for it. All I got to do is be excellent in what I'm doing it with no expectation or entitlement, and opportunities will be thrown at me. I mean, even this past week, I can't really talk about it because you're not like the things I'm doing right now. I can't even talk about online. But I was told I was given the opportunity to do this, and then a next opportunity came that was built off of the fact that I was doing this and this and this. Just somebody's going to sponsor you. Somebody's going to see your greatness and put you in position to be great. So yeah, I think I've been overlooked for leadership opportunities. I feel like a lot of the times I've had to make my own opportunities. I feel like, yeah, like I had and then things started coming to me that it's inevitable that I had to be great because I was doing things that were just coming to me, but not necessarily because somebody in the beginning was saying this is what you should do to be in leadership. Yeah, Howie.
Yeah, I mean, if I would be real, I would say that I try to be authentic. So the idea is that if I've applied for something that's, let's say, has a promotion to it and I didn't get it, then yes, I was overlooked. I feel overlooked. I absolutely
Yeah,
feel overlooked.
because you
If I
applied
didn't
and you
get
didn't
it,
get it. Yeah.
if I applied
Mhm,
for it, had interest
mhm,
in it, didn't get it, then yes, I feel I was overlooked, right? So,
mhm.
and there's various number of reasons as to why, and we could, and, we've all felt these various ways. It's because of this, it's because of that, but at the end of the day, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is the uh the activity, the exercise of looking back at myself and saying,
Mm.
okay, okay, let me put it this way. There's a number of different things that you can look at concerning yourself. I'll give some examples. And let's tie this back to what I said earlier, right? Let's tie this back to what I said earlier, because this is literally the train of thought that I ended up going through sometimes. Because at the time that I mentioned, I was talking about when I was younger and when I was newer and so forth, right? So now when I'm applying to these positions, these, let's say, promotions, etc., that I may not have gotten, now I'm feeling like, okay, I've done A, B, C, D. Now I feel like
Now I should.
I'd like to move forward, right? And so if you backtrack it and you sort of connect the dots backwards and say, well, do I currently am I still currently teachable? Am I still currently do I still currently uh have this openness to learning and observing and being coachable, and do people still see within me that I value certain aspects of where I'm at or what we do here? Does that still exist, or am I at this point now where I'm honing in on me, doing me, and maybe even this promotion is still just an extension of me doing me, regardless of where exactly the organization is. And I think that these are probably these are honest questions I've had to ask myself
My self
and
reflection.
say, yeah, and say, well, where am I now actually? Am I fed up? Am I what aspects of the ceiling are affecting me right now? And sometimes the ceiling can cause us to, many times, the ceiling can cause us to ask ourselves some really, pointed questions in order for us to reach a point where we can say, okay, is this no longer for me? Is
Hmm.
this is this place no longer for me? Or is this job no longer for me? Or is it because I'm growing now, right? I've grown in various ways and areas, and is this environment even conducive to my, like you said, sometimes that next position is a stepping stone for the other position, for the position ahead of that, let's say, right, or higher than
Hmm.
that. But
Hmm.
is this actually the environment that's now conducive to putting me to that second level after the first one?
I
so
had a
so
friend. Okay, go
mhm.
ahead. I
So
had a
these are the
friend that.
type of things that come to my mind that cause me to say, the self-assessment that comes with, feeling overlooked. Yeah.
Got you. I had a friend that said that if you're not moving, a lot of the times people in these days they're looking like, well, what's going on with you? Like back in the days, we used to be able to get one job and just sit and do it for 30 years. Now that loyalty is not looked upon with favor as it was in the past. Now it's like even if you stay in the same department, you gotta shift. You gotta shift, and your goal should be shifting at least, you know. I like what you said about reflection as to, well, what's maybe is this is not the position for me, this is not the place for me, I gotta shift. That's, I feel like what people are looking for, that mindset of being able to shift. um
But if you shift, in my mind right now, I'm like looking at old Howie, right? I'm like, and
mhm.
looking at people who are in that situation, right? Because this is where I'm at right now, that I feel like would be a very valid and effective aspect of shifting. If I were the one assessing anybody in my position or just assessing myself, right? When you shift, you better be able to, I believe for myself, and I think others, like you better be able to identify ways in which you've added value everywhere you've shifted.
Yeah.
You've added value to wherever you shifted to.
Mhm.
Because so they could say, so when that, because they're gonna know once you do references, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
uh you know what did
Mhm.
you what value did you, so if in my next shift, even though I have a track record of shifting, so I may shift from you. I'm coming to you, I may shift from you, but
But I added value to you.
oh yeah, you're gonna get something out of it. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, and talk. I've been in my same job for um almost 20 years. I think 16 years. Um, so I haven't moved around, but I've shifted in the job. So I'm not asking people who are working for a long period of time in a certain position to leave necessarily, but make sure you add value, and you add value to every project. You make sure you're doing projects. Even like with me, I'm in same position, but I've been doing a lot of projects, and I feel like I've added value to everybody's project. That my name is talked about pretty nicely at my institution. I think that's what you want.
I had a question for you on that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So regarding projects and finding projects, is what would be your advice on attaching oneself to projects for the purpose of adding value to yourself and to the project?
I think what's critical is to know what your passion is. So I'll use I can only go based on my example. So my passion is number one, equity in education, right? Number one. Number two, um, research, undergraduate research, using extracurricular tools to provide that equity of education so that everybody that is at my institution can graduate. That's my goal. My goal is that, especially a STEM major, I want a STEM major to number one, believe that they can be a STEM major no matter what color they are, no matter what language they speak originally. If they want to be a physician, I want them to have the pathway to become a physician. If they want to be an engineer, I want them to have that pathway. And it cannot be just grades. They have to have other things like clubs, student curriculum, and research. And so I fostered myself when I got the opportunity to move to a campus that predominantly the predominant demographic are minority students. I jumped at it, right? Maybe some people will be like, well, I don't want to move to that campus. I did. I wanted to. I wanted to be there because I wanted to serve that demographic. So I got opportunity to go there. I took it, right? Number two, um, clubs that they're looking for advisors. They're looking for advisors. They're desperate to get faculty advisors for clubs. So I created a club for that. It's called PACT, for Pursuing All Careers Together in STEM. Right. So I wanted a support group for underrepresented students in STEM to believe that if they, it's based on the book, The Pact, right? That when those three men doctors made a pact in high school that they were going to be doctors no matter what. You make a pact and you have support mechanisms to make it happen, right? I built that because of a vacuum. It was I didn't have to fight to be to be a faculty advisor. It was open, right? And then a research course. There was a professor at the time that had it, and I would and my supervisor actually suggested that I partner with that professor, and we built a research program. And then when she left the school, I took it on, and I kept it going no matter what. No matter what, I made sure it kept happening. And then by doing these things, people saw me and they say, Maya, write a grant. And when I wrote a grant, I was able to fund it, and it was successful. And then in this and right. But it was always based on my core value. So I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't just pick up projects. I didn't just pick up random projects. I picked up projects based on what my core value was, and I ran with it. And I believe opportunities came to me as I excelled in it. So that's what I would say. Know what your
Quick,
core value is, and
mhm.
jump at opportunities that match it.
quick follow-up. So,
Mhm.
Brian, same question. Uh, but in your sphere, because I'm curious because as Maya mentioned, I think it sounds like as in an educational environment, she probably had a little bit more flexibility, maybe, let's say, when it came to creating projects. Just from her brilliant mind, being able to say, okay, finding a niche, finding a vacuum, and being able to create something and then build on it. But let's say in our environments where it's a lot more structured, and you got to roll with projects that you're given, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
how do how do we? I know there's some things that I floating around in my mind that I've attached myself to, but what have you seen?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So there, we do have choice. We have either the choice to do it well or to do it poorly.
Mm.
That's the choice that we have in the federal government.
Tell me about it.
Now there are opportunities, but the opportunities that are there are usually the jobs that nobody wants. And so I would tell anyone, those are the jobs that you go after. And it's not because you really want it. You want to show somebody that you're willing to do the unfavorable so well that they will want you to do the favorable stuff. So that's the only, I mean, and in public service, that's what we are. You tell us what you need and we will do it. While there might be some creativity, most of it is reoccurring jobs, reoccurring tasks, And the only creative is if I'm going to use the orange sticky note this time or the yellow sticky note this time. But again, you take the jobs that nobody wants and you do it so well that your name gets across. And that's really how you make it in at least in my field, is that you just do the work and you do it with pride and you do it so that people will know, hey, when I need something done, I know that this guy can do it or this lady can do it because they took the worst and somehow made it okay.
That's the common denominator. That sounds like faculty advising, right? Remember I said that they were looking for faculty advisors. They because a lot of people don't want to do that, right? Extracurricular stuff, the research program that's not right, that's not something, but then you make it great. And then yeah. Yeah,
I,
so I
I
think
would
it's
add I would add this to, because I'm not gonna lie, again, transparency, authenticity. I hear you, Bryant, and I think that was probably one of the truths that I loathed the most. I knew it
Mhm.
was true, but I didn't like it.
Who does?
But one of the because it's like, you know why though? You know why? What's the worst part about it? It's not it. It's not the doing that, right? It's not going into the gutters and doing that. It's the because this is a thing also. It's the that can you're some sometimes people can be abused in that manner,
Mhm.
because
yep.
you are literally most people who they say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Once they've decided to do that, a lot of times I've seen it with my own eyes. You're dumpster diving, let's say, like that or whatever. Not That's probably not the term I should use, but you're doing things that are like,
You're
that
doing the
no one
grunt
else
work.
really wants to do, the grunt work, right? And you're literally waiting to be recognized.
Yep.
You're waiting to, and there are some times where
And then
powers
sponsoring
that
other
be
people.
powers that be will allow you to
Mhm.
will just watch you do that, and
Yeah,
you're like, have I done enough yet? you
so
know
true.
so one of the areas that I really appreciate, that it's tough, another area that's tough, but the tough part is not actually the doing the tough thing. It's the thinking of the innovation and like in my environment, and I think it could probably apply in yours as well, is thinking of ways that makes things easier for everyone else.
Yeah, process
think
improvements.
yeah, process improvement stuff, especially like in a laboratory setting, let's say, where there's a lot of routine work, there's a lot of things that there's grunt work that everyone has to do, right? If you can be the person to figure out, oh, because then now you're everyone's friend at the end of that, because you found a process improvement that everyone will benefit from, and then ultimately make things more efficient for management.
That's
And
good.
so that it's a tough that's a tough one, because now you've got to sit and do some look at processes, look at everything, listen to what everyone is complaining about, and try to get the ideas, get the flow, and think of it on your own, and then implement that thing. So I like that one. I like that one because it's a win-win for everyone. I like that. And the only challenge is just sitting down and using your brain a little bit more.
Awesome, awesome. All right, here's another question. What strategies or mindsets helped you navigate systemic barriers, especially those tied to race, gender, or both? What mindsets helped you? Yeah, these are heavy questions. I feel like the mindset that helped me was that if God be for me, who can be against me? Like, I really believe that my station in life, everything that has happened for me has been because God has opened doors for me. And if I saw a closed door, I looked for an open one. Like, I know that I am destined for graceness. I know God has great things for me. He promised me that. And so if somebody's trying to hold me down, I'm not going to try to change that person's mind to make me I am not my ancestors. And you know what? I don't think my ancestors did that necessarily all the time, but I think a lot of the times they wore masks based on their own histories. But me, I am not going to try to change somebody's mind to treat me. So to Howard's point, there have been things that I've applied for that I've rejected, that I've been rejected for, and people want me to apply for again. I'm not. I don't. I'm not. I ain't doing it. I ain't trying to change nobody's mind, and I don't want it. I don't want it to be given, especially if I feel like I already earned something. There's no way I'm going to apply and apply and apply just to get rejected and rejected and rejected. That's just not my role. Like, I just move to a place where I get yeses. I look for my. I look, and I kind of learned this selling religious books as a college student, door to door. I didn't waste time. I actually loved fast no's. When I would get quick rejections, like, get off my porch. Okay, sir, thank you. Rather than me knock on the door, wait, you indulge me for minutes and then tell me no. Nah, give me the quick no, and because I'm looking for that yes. Because with every 3 no's, there's 1 yes. The faster I get through the no's, the quicker I can get to the yes. That's the mindset that I've always had. I never took rejection personal, and I don't try to change people who reject me. I'm not trying to change their mind about me. If they want to look at me as just a DEI person, if they want to think I don't deserve whatever I have, if they want to give me higher standards, like everything was like this, but then as soon as I go for it, now there's a whole new standard for me. All of that happens to people of color. I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna leave it and go for my yes, because the faster I get to my yes, the faster I get to that money. I'm telling you, this is is the truth. Sorry, I got passionate. I get passionate a lot of the time. Not sometimes, a lot of the times.
Because you're operating in purpose.
Yeah.
Brian, man, you got to explain all that look of consternation that you
Yeah, I
got
know.
going on.
Why are you looking at me?
Okay.
Does it operate differently in your environment?
Okay. This is an adult podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I mean, I'm hearing oh, that's nice. And, I love the Lord. And I want everyone to know I do love the Lord,
Uh-huh.
but I also have I have this censor button, and I'm trying not to push this censor button.
Push it.
No, because
Push
then
it.
people going to try to wonder what was I saying during that time. This is your podcast. Mine, we use this all the time. I'll say this. The mindset that I have is that the person that's telling me no is not the final person.
That's
So
right.
I gotta go to the person above them to have them then ask that question. Well, why did you tell him no? Because all this other stuff I see is yes. I I used to run away. I used to be like, okay, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't do that. And I think because I started off as a staff assistant, and you asked about being pushed over, I I started showing the work in jeans and a t-shirt. And I'm the first person people saw when they walked into that particular office because I was upset. But I was taking it out on myself. I had
Mm,
to learn that because that one person said no, that's not everybody. And
that's
that's not
right.
even the final person. So I then began to focus on the person above them, not to usurp their authority, but to do work so well that that person was then asking them, wait a minute,
Why?
why are you not moving
Yeah.
him forward?
Word.
So I take that mindset into everything I do. Yes, someone can tell me no. Someone will probably use words. See, I used that button that time. You don't know what I said. But someone will tell me no, but I cannot let that one person stop me from, one, being me, and two, going for a goal that if I follow these steps, I'm going to get it. And
Yeah.
so that's where my mindset is now. You're just my supervisor. You're not the boss. I'm going to do work so that the boss sees it.
Word. Period. And that's what you got to do.
I think I'm going to hug somebody and be like, not all the
Uh-uh.
time. Okay, I'm just because I thought this was I thought we were going to be, like turn the other cheek. Only got 4.
That's not what I
Only got 4. And
Wait, what which one?
sometimes
What here? What
one
here?
I'm sitting
What
on the
here?
other 2. I'm
What here?
sitting on the other 2. So if you get to those 2, then I'm not doing my job. No.
That is going to be a cut for Instagram.
Okay.
It's going to the gram.
How have mentors, sponsors, peer allies played a role in your upward trajectory? Do you have to seek them out? Create your own network? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
My sponsors were huge for me. But once I get one and I do the good do thing, then they just keep coming. You just get them. Get that one. Sponsors were critical for me, giving me the opportunity to shine for excellence.
Yeah, I think you have to be open. Definitely sponsorship, mentorship. I didn't really believe in it because I mean, I think about high school. You don't take internships in my country. I mean, not my country, in my neighborhood because internships did not pay. Internships is where you get knowledge, you get that connection. A
Mm-hmm.
job is where you get pay. And
Paid.
so I had to humble myself to change my mind and say, okay, I need help. And if I need help, let me go to someone who one says what they want to say because they've been here long enough and they can tell me about when to say something, when not to say something. If I say
Mhm.
this is what's going to happen. Someone that has experience and not just theory. And so that's why I tell anybody, you eh, find the oldest person in the room
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
ask them questions to remind them that one, they have value, they have knowledge, and that you really want to hear it, not that you're just patronizing them. You really want to hear it. Just sit there and listen.
Sit and listen. Woo. Yeah, sit and listen. When I first started my job, I had a mentor. So you have mentors, your sponsors, two different type of people. My mentor was the one that said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you all my lectures. Here's what you should do to teach this class." Now I was teaching biology one at other institutions, but we had a new I had a different I came to a different state, different textbook, and she just gave me her stuff. And I would just go and I still when I go to the main campus, still just sit in her office. Sit in her office. She was a mentor. She is a mentor, right? Critical, but she wasn't my sponsor. She was my mentor to help me in my teaching, and I got sponsorship to push me to other places. I needed both, and I'm thankful for all of them. All of them. I love my job because I've shined not just because of what I've done, but because of my mentors and sponsors. Um, so in spite of, listen, you will always. I just believe that you will have a mentor and a sponsor. You got to tap into them. As Bryant said, sit and listen to them. And you brought her to my mind because she was one of the older professors. Yeah. How you want to say something?
I'm in agreement. I'm
Yeah.
in agreement. So both sponsors, mentors, they will, I think everyone has experienced this where you got a lot of voices going on in your mind when you're going through this entire process at different stages. You got a lot of voices going on. So, um, these types of individuals in your space will provide a good sense of clarity um,
Yeah.
for you. So that's the value that they bring. They help you get some clarity, help you understand, from an outside looking in, the third party to come in and just, you know, again, be authentic with you. And if they're offering that, that in itself is a gift, in the workplace. When people can give you that, that's a gift. And
So
so
good.
you should receive it with open arms. But I mean, maybe that begs the next question, right? I don't know if but it's like, how do you identify those type of people? Do
Mm.
they just need to be older? Because I tell you, in my
I
in
know
my experience,
in the
the older
beginning,
one didn't necessarily
well, true, but
oldest one, I should say, oldest one didn't always, sometimes they had some baggage.
some chip on their
That
shoulders or baggage. Yeah, so you run
Yeah,
away from those old ones. They're gonna be old bitter ones. But what I know is when I first got the job, I got a call from an older one, and she was about to retire. But she said, "Before I retire, this is what you do.
come
You
see
keep
me. Yeah,
quiet. You do this. She gave me the run down, right? And then I got another older one that said, "This is what you do this." So I feel like there are older, bitter ones, but there are also older ones that want to stay. They want to see you succeed. You find them. Usually, the bitter ones tell you they're bitter. They complain all the time. They complain about everything, right? And then the other ones are just happy to be here and happy to uplift the person behind them. Find them, and like I said, stop trying to convince. I'm not saying that's what you were doing, Howard. But for me, I'm saying that to me. Stop trying to convince other people to like you, other people to not be bitter towards you, and just like run away from those strong no's quickly. Last question.
yeah. I didn't give an
What?
example. I was just saying
Yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah,
what
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I was saying this is what you
yeah.
run into anywhere
This,
you go. Like,
yeah, exactly. What advice would you give to a young Black or minority professional entering a space where the leadership lacks diversity? Ooh, that's a strong question. What advice would you give to a young Black or minority professional entering a space where the leadership lacks diversity? First thing I would say is be excellent. Um, be excellent. Like unflawed. And that's unfortunate to say that you had to, because we're human. But you can't be late. Because every stereotype that they think, you can't be. You can't be the stereotype that they think you. Especially as a Black man, they think you're not as smart. They think you're lazy. They think you don't have ambition. They think you all kinds of things. Everything they think of you, I'm sorry, I gotta put that pressure on you, because other people could be late. Other people can do the bare minimum. They do the bare minimum. We can't do. It's called the black tax. Can't be late. Gotta be excellent. I'm sorry I'm saying this, but it just,
No, say what's on your heart. Say what's on your mind.
yeah. And in the schools too, in class too. Like they they like they automatically think you don't belong. A lot of people don't think you belong. So you gotta prove that you belong by being great. And I don't want to say prove that you belong, because you already belong. You can't be the stereotype. And I feel like okay, I'm gonna stop talking. What y'all think?
Now, I'll just say that your work has to be so good that they don't see color, they see results.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, if there isn't a person that looks like you at the management level, that's because that space is being reserved for you. And in order to get there, you've got to do work so well that they stop seeing that you're black, that you're
Yeah.
brown, that you're any other nationality. They just see results.
Yep.
And results have no color, no creed, no sex. It just has results. I don't want us to go in with a defeatist mentality saying we've already got these barriers in front of us. That's barriers because you want to look at them as barriers and as color. Yes, there may be a harder road to go, but your results, that's ultimately what people will want to see. And if they're that good, they will bring you up because they won't be able to function without it.
Let's go, Howie. You get the last word.
Oh, I should not have the last word.
Yes, you should.
Oh man. I've struggled with this concept throughout my entire career and school. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's I guess we're all entitled to our opinion. I think it's I think it's just way too much pressure. Now, I'm not saying it's not necessary. I'm saying that the way it's communicated makes a brother feel like who then can be saved. It makes a brother feel like, I mean, because it's all about the personality types, really. Some
Mhm.
people be like, all right, let's go. For real, that's what it takes. Let's go.
Right.
There was a point where I had to get like that. I had to get I had to get hyped up to get through, just to get through. And I had to reach a point where I was just like, well, let me say this. I had to reach a point where I had to realize that I don't work well with that. I don't work well with that type of pressure, because then I'm like, so what is the what's my motivation? Is my motivation to get up and out, to just stick it to folk? Like, what is my motivation for succeeding? Now,
Hmm.
like I said, for some folk, I mean, for some fields, like there's a reason I didn't go to business field. When you're in the business field,
Oh man, he was saying something powerful.
Oh, he'll come back, but I'll tell you, when you're in the business field, it's you versus them. There's no, it's cutthroat. Okay, he's back. I can
He's
shut up
oh,
now.
back.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what
I
happened.
don't know what
Internet,
happened either. You go ahead. When
internet,
you in the business field, go ahead.
business field, number one. That's me every time. Let's go. And I'm like, nah, I just really like science. I just really like, and so I had to reach a point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna operate same outcome, same outcome, just a different motivation. I'm gonna operate in what I know how to do, what I really enjoy doing, what I really love, what I know I do really, really well.
Yeah.
And when I operated in that sphere, I'm doing when I got my blinders on and I'm doing what I really love doing, what I really appreciate, adding value in this sphere and in within this field, regardless of how y'all feel, then the results speak for themselves, and it becomes the same, sort of the same outcome, like what you're
Okay.
saying, because then they're looking and like, man, because that's literally what ended up happening. When people looked at my work, they were saying, this is wow, this is really like, you do this really well, you do this really well. Like, I don't even, so that's unfortunately, that becomes the issue. The issue is that when they telling you, oh, this is really good, this is really good, this is, you really do these things really, really well. And you're like, I ain't gonna lie, you're like, I know. You're like, I know. And now I'm saying that in my head. I'm like, I know that I do that really well. And then, the outcome still, somebody else still get overlooked. So that's the challenge right there. The challenge is when you do all of that with that sense of motivation, and you still get So I'm just saying, I know what's been more satisfying for me, and I know some folk will say it's not about what satisfies you, it's about, what you need to do in order to get, and I'm just saying that once I operated in my sphere, once I operated in what I know what I do best, the results were usually there. And that's when I guess we get into the other aspects of what we've already spoken about, where it's like, okay, well, how do you know if that's the outcome? If the outcome is not favorable for you, how do you know when it's time to go? How do you know
Mhm.
when it's time to move on? How do you know where this space is not
Mhm.
conducive for you, and so
Your
forth?
growth.
And you're
Mhm.
expressing sort of these sort of things to the sponsors and to the mentors, etc. And then you gotta. That's why you need all of these various elements.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
And see, this
Guys,
is why
it's
you should have been the last person.
yeah.
See, you had words
Yeah,
there.
of
I just
course
had
it
emphasis.
does. Guys, you've been great as usual. As usual. Thank you so much for coming out and having a great conversation. Um, I hope the audience, a lot, there was, about 5 people watching, and I really wish you had asked, if you, those of you who are watching, uh, ask some questions. But some people just like to watch online. So glad you were here to watch. Let me do my homework real quick. Uh, this I had a great summer. I had a youth federation doing my Black Excellence Virtual STEM camp, and I had about 4 active parents training their kids in STEM this summer. So I had a great summer training kids in STEM, and I just continue. So I have a curriculum for the school year. So if you're interested in having your kids learn STEM all year, go to www.10year.me. And of course, my book, The Phenomenal STEMist, How to Prepare a Successful Student from the Womb to the University, both in English and in Espanol. Guys, thanks so much for coming out. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am the Phenomenal STEMist. And so are these men, Bryant and Howard. Thank you guys. Watch those cheeks, those 4 cheeks. See
Yep.
ya.
Watch 'em.